This is a suspenseful and shocking story of cold-blooded murders. One thing we have to disclaim before we go. Be ready to hear things you'll never imagine before. Let us tell you a story for you. The story of Susan Monica. In 1948, Susan Monica was born Stephen Buchanan in California. Then she served in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War. After serving her country, Monica got an honorable discharge. After that, she began a normal life. She got into an engineering career and was very successful. Former Jackson County Sheriff Detective Eric Henderson said everything was fair and fine. In 1991, she bought a 20-acre farm in rural Wimmer, Oregon. Monica bred pigs and poultry on her property and owned White Queen Construction, a wrought iron fence and gate company. She was recognized in the community as a rather eccentric person. Maybe after serving in the defense, her mind has become hard, but she was also well-liked. Monica's property was an untamed woodland when she originally purchased it. She eventually built a large barn and began construction of a house. She hired Robert Haney in 2013. He worked as her handyman, laborer, and carpenter. He did whatever she asked. My dad and Susan Monica had a deal. My dad would get part cash and be able to stay on the property. My dad agreed to build a house from the bottom up. Robert Haney's son, Jesse Haney, explained to the media. We hadn't seen or heard from my dad for 2 months. We just all started to panic, Jesse said. On January 1st, 2014, the Haney children drove out to look at their father. They spoke with Monica, who stated she hadn't seen him in 4 months. Susan Monica said that my dad just basically left. She wanted us to come to retrieve our dad's stuff. Can you sense something wrong? But just like in a thriller movie, they noticed their father's trailer there. So they realized something was wrong, that their father possibly must not have left the place. His leather jacket was there, his dog was still running around, and all the tools were there. It made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. The moment they understood, Monica did something to their father. The Haneys reported their father missing to the Jackson County Sheriff Office. They discovered that it had been months since anyone had seen Robert. So the next thing the detectives did was they arrived at Monica's home to question her about Robert's disappearance. Vehicles, rubbish, and temporary constructions littered the property. The property was so mysterious that Sheriff Detective Henderson thought it was the Twilight Zone. Monica informed them Robert had been living and working on her land for 6 months before having an adverse fall. He received a concerning phone call from a family member that she had been the victim of assault, and he was really upset about that, Monica replied. Monica asserted Robert then began to drink excessively and act recklessly. He ultimately informed her he was going away for a time and requested her to look after his dog. Detectives did not conclude their investigation there. Robert's Oregon Trail Electronics Benefits Transfer card was tracked down by them, and they discovered it was last used in December 2013 at a Walmart in Grants Pass, Oregon. The place is just about 25 minutes drive from Monica's home, and surprisingly, the card was used on a date after Robert's disappearance date, as mentioned by Monica. Doubts arose in their minds, hence the detectives examined security camera footage which revealed Monica using Robert's EBD card. A search warrant was executed on Monica's property by law enforcement. Officers were astounded by the filthy conditions, which included garbage piles, rotting food, and industrial waste. They then discovered something genuinely disturbing: a human leg in an irrigation pond. The killer was hiding something unthinkable till then. Now you have to muster some courage to listen further about this crime because Monica was never a normal lady. She was a dangerous cold fish. Monica was escorted into the sheriff's department for interrogation by detectives. She attached a strange and scary narrative when confronted by those unusual findings. Monica reported that she discovered her pigs in a feeding frenzy the previous autumn. When she turned around to see what it was, she found Robert laying there with his guts all over the place.
I saw it. Them eating his guts, laying on his back.
What in the world is that? He was being eaten, what I thought was alive.
And then there was no way for him to be alive more than a couple more minutes.
Monica told the cops during the interview. She claimed she couldn't stop the pig, so she pulled out a revolver and shot him, and put him out of his misery, she says in the audio. According to her statement, Monica disposed of Robert's body in the pig pen until the hogs had had their fill. After a few days, she gathered his remains and placed them in rubbish bags. She reported that a wild animal later got into one of the bags and pulled the foot out. Monica stated that she did not report the event to authorities because she was frightened they might slaughter her pigs. When detectives inquired what more they would find on her property, she broke down and assumed they would find the worst. Now, the story is going to give a twist, an unexpected twist. Can you guess what it could be? Don't forget to make your assumptions as scary as possible. Monica produced a map of her property and marked the center with an X. Right there, she said. That's where you'll find Steve. Steve, full name, Stephen Delciano, was a handyman who had been working on Monica's estate for a year before Robert arrived.
Part of another body.
Okay.
His name is Steve.
Anybody come around asking about him?
No.
How did you meet him?
He was one of those people that just showed up to work.
Monica stated that 2 of her guns had vanished in the summer of 2012. She claimed she discovered them in Stephen's possession and questioned him.
Steve was a thief. He stole a lot of things from people.
Then, on this matter, she claimed they got into a wrestling fight. In the middle of this, the gun fired, shooting Stephen in the back of the head.
Hey, I could grab your hair and strangle you with it.
Oh my gosh, why would you say that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Instead of killing him, Stephen stood up and followed Monica to her barn where she grabbed her rifle. At one point during the struggle, Stephen was down on his knees. She was above him, and she picked up the rifle and she shot him in the head, Henderson said. She fed Stephen's corpse to the pigs and then buried the remains of him. Henderson questioned Monica if there were any other deceased bodies on the site before the interview ended. Her reply was terrifying. She told me that if she told me about the 17 others, she would spend the rest of her life in jail, Henderson said. Monica was arrested on January 14, 2014, and accused of 2 murders, 1 case of first-degree mistreatment of a corpse, and 1 act of identity theft. Her pigs were later slain. Hundreds of crime scene investigators scoured Monica's property over the next few weeks, digging over 100 holes. They discovered Haney and Stephen's bodies, as well as other personal things, including a large pile of shoes, but no more bodies. Maybe those were the shoes of her previous prey. Where is Monica today? The 75-year-old is being held in Wilsonville Coffee Creek Correctional Facility. So on April 21, 2015, a jury and Judge Timothy Barnack convicted Susan Monica guilty on all counts after deliberations of 1 hour. According to the Oregonian newspaper, she received a sentence of a minimum of 50 years in jail. Was that enough for her brutal actions? She got punished, but still, the officials are investigating whether Monica has taken the lives of more victims over the years. My take on what she told me about the possibility of 17 other people being there was that it was true, Henderson explained. I'm certain that there are more people out there. How scary is that? Signs of a psychopath? So give a thumbs up to this video. Comment down your thoughts on the heinous crime in the comment section below. See you soon. Bye.